Good afternoon. Good afternoon. In true Texas form, howdy. We'll try that again. Make sure everybody's awake after lunch. Howdy.
Howdy!
Well, in good Texas style, I should say good Texas legislature style. I can't speak for this decade, but I can speak for 1970, 1980, and 1990. We're starting in good Texas legislative form late. So, I can do that because my dad was a state rep for 14 years, and I lived here for a better part of my childhood. These grounds before this was built were my playing grounds, and before all the security, I used to run amok around these grounds and go up to the top of the Capitol and play with all the buzzards that were up there. And, but welcome. Yeah, my name is Patrick Von Dohlen, and on behalf of the Texas family who is hosting this, I want to welcome you to the Protect Texas Children legislative briefing. And this is going to be a monumental day because if you haven't learned yet, you will soon learn from these experts up here and others sitting amongst you of some. The question is, has comprehensive sex education gone too far?
That's right.
We're having this because I'm going to answer the question. It has. You might find when you get your briefing book that I'm married to a woman named Happy. We met at Texas A&M University, and we have been blessed with 9 children so far. And our oldest 4 children have all gone through traditional public schools. Our youngest 5 children we have removed from traditional public schools and now are in a charter school. And there's a great reason for that. And so these people up here behind me and amongst you will be sharing that with you. So thank you for being here. And I was looking for I do see him, Danny, if you'd come up. And we're going to start with a prayer, if you all will all indulge us. If you have your briefing book, it's on the front inside cover of that. And Anna will be distributing those briefing books here. I apologize, I didn't say this, but I do apologize. We're getting started late, even though in true 70s Texas legislature fashion, I do apologize for that. I'm sorry for wasting your time. But we're glad you're here. And the few housekeeping things real quick before we do our prayer is if you haven't registered or RSVP'd, if you make sure you see the ladies in the back and give us your information. We do have, I think, 70 seats here available. We had 96 RSVPs. So if you'd be patient, if you didn't have an RSVP, if you'd be patient and linger there in the back or loiter there in the back, and we would welcome you here as here in a few minutes after all the people with RSVPs get sat down. So if you would join with us, and we'll do a prayer, and then I don't see flags in here, but we can still do the pledges, and we know where a flag is on top of this building, don't we? And so we'll do the pledges right after. On your briefing book, inside cover, the prayer is, and also the Texas pledge if you need help with that. So Danny Petrie, the San Antonio Family Association, please lead us in prayer.
Thank you all for coming. Bow our heads. We stand before you, Holy Spirit, conscious of our sinfulness, but aware that we gather in your name. Come to us, remain with us, and enlighten our hearts. Give us light and strength to know your will, to make it our own, and to live it in our lives. Guide us by your wisdom, support us by your power, for you are God, sharing the glory of Father and Son. You desire justice for all. Enable us to uphold the rights of others. Do not allow us to be misled by ignorance or corrupted by fear or favor. Unite us to yourself in the bond of love, and keep us faithful to all that is true. As we gather in your name, may we temper justice with love, so that all our decisions may be pleasing to you and earn the reward promised to good and faithful servants. We ask this of you, who live and reign with the Father and the Son, one God, forever and ever. Amen. Amen. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of
Pledge
America.
of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Texas pledge. Honor
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you very much. Before we get started, do we have any elected officials in here that we'd like to recognize? And I know Mr. Ken Mercer, State Board of Education, District number 5. Thank you. Any other elected officials? All right, well, all of us ordinary people, from one to another.
Yeah, we do. Steve Todd is here.
Steve Todd? Steve Todd, Rick, you're
House District 15.
House District 15, thank you for being here. But from one, we're highly imperfect, as I was sharing with one of our sponsors a minute ago, that we forgot a name badge for our sponsors, Sonia and Bill Harris here, and I said, you'll have to forgive me, just remember Imperfect Patrick. It's a good way to remember my name, and to do that. But I do want to thank you. On the front of your briefing book, you'll find a list of the speakers' names, and all you get mentioned. But I do want to thank State Senator Donna Campbell, District 25, for being our Capitol Room sponsor, and I want to thank her for that. And State Senator Pete Flores, another one of our sponsors. Ken Mercer, State Board of Education. Also Alma Jackson, State Republican Party of Texas Vice Chair. Unfortunately, she called me about 30 minutes ago and said she was not going to be able to be here. Her daughter just went into early labor with her, will be her 4th child, and her other 3 children on the ground are 5 and under, and so she needed to be helping her daughter with her children, her grandchildren, and so we'll give her a pass, an excuse. And we want to thank her for support. Concerned Parents of Texas, Trinity Legal Center, Texas Parents Care, the Justice Foundation, Conservatives in Action Texas, Sonia and Bill Harris, and San Antonio Family Association. And then we have many other ally organizations, including Texas Values here. I want to thank them for their support as well throughout the years. And somebody also representing the American Legion. And thank you for your service, Mr. Jerome Iltis. Any other veterans here? We would like to recognize you and thank you for your service. Thank you very much for your service and your dedication to our country. Okay. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you, well, I will say one thing. My wife has a master's in education, and from Texas A&M, in special education to be exact. I've let her make the decisions about the education for our children, a lot of latitude in where they went to school, private, public, homeschool. And while my wife is a master's education, she would, and a very patient and happy lady, she does not have any interest in homeschooling. And we've been great fans of traditional public schools. And our children have greatly benefited from them in Northeast Independent School District in North San Antonio. However, things began to change. And in 2016, particularly May 9th, 2016, the Northeast Independent School District made a critical decision to change the scope of its sexual education from abstinence-based to risk avoidance, and implemented a new educational curriculum. And I won't go into that because I know Melissa Beckett will address that curriculum, as well as our next speaker, Ms. Debbie Simmons. But for us, it made a change because as a parent of 9 children, as y'all are parents and as well, or have friends of parents, we place as parents, we place a lot of trust in our government, do we not? We place a lot of trust in the government. We place a lot of trust in the school districts, especially because our children are going there. We're loaning them to them for the better part of the day. And when I figured out what happened and as this coalition came together as a result of this upcoming decision in May 9, 2016, they betrayed my trust.
That's right.
They betrayed my trust, and they betrayed the very essence of doing what's right and good. They teach our children virtues on and off the football field, in and out of the classroom, except when it comes to sex education.
That's right.
And I was betrayed. We had to make a move. And so that's why we're here today. That's why we're taking time out of our business day, and I thank you for taking time out of your busy day as well. So now, without further ado,